to Tales Point High Book Club for March. Why do I always forget what month we're in? We've been reading Spring Break by Barbara Steiner. So we've got a brilliant guest joining us, returning. Cameron's joined us a couple of times. So I'll just add Cameron in. Can't believe I always forget what month that we're in. It's like I'm excited too. I'm excited to chat and see what everyone thought about this book. Oh, wow. Hi, Cameron. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm okay. You?
I'm doing good.
Oh,
I'm ready to talk about this
oh,
crazy book.
oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh, 1 second. There we go. I just knocked something on the screen and I was like, oh, what have I done? Oh, but thank you for joining us again. Like, we've
Yes, thank you
chatted,
for having
what have
me.
we chatted about? The Hitchhiker by R.L. Stein
Yes,
and Slumber
yes,
Party by
Summer
Christopher
Party.
Pike.
Hmm.
Oh, that was a wild ride. Oh, it really was. Oh, wow, that's such a cool t-shirt. I love it.
Thank you.
Oh,
I
brilliant.
thought it would be kind of ironic since we're talking about point books.
Definitely. You can't see it, but I'm wearing my Ghostbusters t-shirt.
Oh,
Because
nice.
one of the characters says, "Let's go ghost busting," and I was like, "Yeah, I've got to do that
Yes.
now." Oh dear. Vernal Bug said, "I'm a huge fan of Library Macabre. You got me into 90s
Oh,
books. Yay!"
thank you guys. Thank
And
you.
Narissa said, "Big question is, will this chat rival the legendary Piranha chat from The
I
Hitchhiker?"
don't know if it can. That was such an epic ending.
Oh, it
So,
was.
spoiler alert, there's no piranhas in
Sad.
this one,
Sad,
unfortunately.
sad times, sad times. But yeah, if you don't know Cameron, Cameron is the amazing author of Autumn Crow, which I've got here, and Autumn Crow
Yay.
High, which is somewhere on my bookshelf. Since I've moved house, I cannot find anything.
Here,
But yeah, I will pop a little link up to it afterwards. And these are
there we go.
Oh yeah, thanks, Cameron. I feel really bad. I was like, where have I put
No, you're
it?
okay.
It's got to be somewhere. I've got it somewhere, definitely, but I cannot see it. And I've been looking for about half an hour. It's horrible when you move
That's okay.
house and you just cannot find anything after. Oh.
Yeah,
But yeah, these books are perfect for like fans of Point Horror, Fear Street, Goosebumps. They're just brilliant, and yeah, I love them, Cameron. You know I do. And Cameron also reviews horror books over on YouTube as Library Macabre, and has the most amazing collection. I'm always in awe of Cameron's collection, so do check that out as well. But yeah, so Spring Break was a first time read for both of us.
yes. Yeah, I hadn't read it before. It says everyone's saying that I'm really fuzzy, so maybe bad.
Oh
Let me,
yeah, you do. I thought it was my end. Oh,
it might be me.
okay,
Let me see here. I'm sorry, guys.
that's all
Let's
right.
see.
I thought it was me, so I
I
was like, oh, oh, Cameron's gone. He'll be back. He'll be back. I'm sure. Oh yeah, but do you know what I noticed? I'll just chat. I know what I noticed with. Oh, are you back, Cameron?
do I look better?
You're still a bit fuzzy.
Okay.
Little
Oh
bit.
no.
Oh,
I'm sorry, guys.
oh, it might maybe the connection might get. It's a little bit better actually. Yeah, I can see. I can
Okay.
see your gorgeous face now. Oh, but yeah, I was just going to say. I noticed the taglines on the two books were different. So in the
Yeah,
UK, we got
they are.
Sun, Sea, and Slaughter. I mean, and on this one, it was Sun,
Right.
Surf, and Murder.
I like the slaughter one better, but
Yeah.
is there any slaughter in this book? Not really.
Well, just justice for Brandy, which we'll talk about in a little bit,
Yeah.
briefly. We won't go
Oh.
into too much detail on that, but
Yeah.
but yeah, but it was a first time read for you as well. Spring Break, you'd not read it before. Oh,
No, the first time. Yeah.
oh,
I think this was my very first Barbara Steiner book too.
oh, wow. So for the book club, we've read The Phantom and The Mummy, and both of those have been
Hmm.
really, really good. The Mummy was really good. Um, and
Okay.
I never read any Barbara Steiner like back in the day. So it's been
Hmm.
really lovely to discover her work now. Um, and yeah, I just think she's a brilliant writer, to be honest. Really enjoying her books.
Yeah, I
um,
really enjoyed this one too, so I'm excited to read more from
yeah,
her.
definitely. Billy said, "Hey Cameron, big fan of your channel. A Patreon member, Billy is. Love your
Hey,
love your Autumn Grey book so much." uh,
thank you guys.
Laura from our Cozy Liverpool home says, "I literally finished the book at 1801. That's good going, Laura. Well done."
Hey.
Just scrolling down a minute. Miss Boo Boo said, I haven't finished rereading it, but kind of remember who the baddie is and the reason. Oh, that's good because there will be spoilers
Mm.
for the book. Oh, yeah, I can see where people put that you was fuzzy. um,
Hopefully I look
yeah,
okay.
it's much
I
better
can't
now,
tell.
definitely. Larissa said, found this one slow to start, but once you get into it, it's a fun ride. Which, yeah, I agree with that. Definitely. Yeah, the puppy. We're gonna have to at some point. Yeah,
Yeah,
I hate animal death as well. Autumn says she hates animal death, and yeah, I don't like that. So we'll brush over it, but I think we have to remember Brandy for the dog that she
yeah,
was, definitely.
yes.
Sharon said, I think if Chad had died too, I'd feel better about Brandy. Definitely. Oh dear. Oh, Teddy said, love Cam's channel too. I'm a Patreon as well. Oh, that's so brilliant. I love
Oh,
that.
thanks, guys. I'm so glad you guys are
Oh, that's
here. That's
amazing.
awesome.
Tina Caroline said, I read the book in French. Hope I'll be able to follow. Oh,
Hmm,
interesting.
interesting. Yeah,
And Kelly said this one was slow, but I guess it had some character development as a result. Yeah. So we'll get into it then and see what we thought. So definitely spoilers
okay.
ahead. So this one, I
Yes.
did a little synopsis, but my synopsises are usually a bit dodgy. So we'll try. So this one was about, so it's time for spring break, and our group of friends are heading off to the beach, and they don't want to hear one word about school, school. So the way they spell it out in the book. But off they head, all excited in Kerry's Jeep, and they haven't even booked a place to stay. Who does that? You got to
Hmm.
book ahead,
Yeah, I know.
especially on spring
What
break.
were they thinking? What were they thinking?
So after a brief encounter at a local store, they get offered to stay at the old Jameson place, and it's currently being done up by a creepy maintenance man, and it has the original musty furnishings, the
Hmm.
damp mattresses, and it's possibly haunted, but they snap it up regardless and think it's a good bargain. And there's even a marsh behind the property that can fulfill all of their bird watching needs. That scene was a bit strange in the book, I thought.
Very important.
Yeah.
Very important thing to teenagers to make sure they have plenty of bird watching
Yeah.
opportunities.
Yeah. It was such like a weird like scene. Like I don't understand the point of that scene, but it was interesting. I feel like I learnt a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as night descends, the girls start hearing ghostly cries in the house. Mysterious things start going on. They hear party music being played. So they start to explore the house and discover a secret, and someone really wants them to join the party. Dum dum dum.
Hmm.
Ah! And I do love how like Barbara Steiner's books all do like fall into that. She kind of uses a supernatural theme in the three books that we've read. There's been like a supernatural
Hmm.
theme. I kind of like that she does
Hmm.
that. So,
Yeah,
do you believe in ghosts? Is my first question.
I do actually. It's it's like I don't know. I've had a lot of experiences. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't because
Mm,
it's like I'm naturally kind of skeptical. And even when I do have experiences, I'm always kind of like writing it off. But
yeah.
I've had a lot of experiences, and I've also grew up in a semi-haunted house. So
Oh.
it was like, it was, it was like not really the house that was haunted, but it was a complicated situation. But yes, I do believe in ghosts
Oh,
up to a certain extent.
oh wow. I love that like you grew up in like a haunted house as well. That's really like spooky
Yeah,
and
it was
interesting.
scary. It was scary.
Yeah. No, I believe as well. I'm a believer. And
Hmm.
like you, like to a certain extent, I believe. And we always used
Hmm.
to, me and my brother still claim to this day that we actually saw a ghost when we was younger at my granddad's
Oh my
house.
gosh. Hmm.
Because we didn't know what this lady looked like, which was my granddad's first wife, who must have died in the house.
Yes, I had a very
Yeah,
similar
and
experience.
his house was like really spooky. It was big, like 3 story thing, and it had this really spooky attic, and it was in the attic where we saw this like figure go from one room to another. And like we
Mm.
ran downstairs, obviously being kids, we was terrified, and we described this lady having not seen a picture or anything of her, and we described her exactly how she was when
Oh
we were shown the
wow,
picture. Yeah. So ever since then,
that's
I'm a
spooky.
believer. Yeah. So I'm like, they do
Hmm.
exist, and like I
Hmm.
do believe, like sometimes I wake up and I feel like I can taste my nan's like apple pie 'cause my nan's no longer here, and I can taste it, and
Uh,
I'm like, she's been here, she's looking after me,
yeah.
like that
I
kind.
I think I may have seen the ghost of my grandpa at my grandma's house
Oh
once, but I was
wow.
like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So I just remember I was sitting in the living room. There was a bunch of all of us like piled at my grandma's house. Everybody went to the kitchen. I was little. I was just sitting on the couch, and I looked into the hallway off of the living room, and I saw an older man dressed in like gray clothes looking at
Oh
me. He turned around and walked into one of the bedrooms, and I didn't know who it was because I had
yeah.
never met my grandpa.
Oh
He died before I was born. So then I
wow.
went into the kitchen. I remember telling my dad that there was an old man in the hallway, and I told him what he looked like, and they went and looked and didn't see anybody. And he
Wow.
was he told me pretty recently, he's like, that kind of sounds like how your grandpa looked. So I don't know. I was very little though, so I don't
Yeah,
remember
the
exactly like
same.
I
Like
could
I,
be,
I remember bits,
yeah,
but yeah,
yeah,
I
just little
think
bits.
it just shows that we're open to believing.
Yeah,
Definitely,
yes.
I
I
love that.
want to believe.
Yeah, I want to believe. um, I saw Autumn said it wasn't a great read for her spring break, but I did have fun with it, and it takes place in Texas, which is where Autumn lives. Oh wow, love
Oh yeah.
that. Um, Heather says, I'm on spring break and not hearing about school is 100% relatable.
Yeah.
Miss Boo Boo said, I live in a very touristy place and worked in a hotel a few years. You'd be surprised. Lots don't make reservations. Oh, okay. Oh, God, I couldn't think of
All
anything
right.
worse than not booking ahead of time. Like, that would just, I'd just be like, no. Oh,
Yeah, I can't imagine.
no.
I plan
Yeah,
everything.
same. Sharon said, "Here comes Boney Caroline." Yeah, we'll have a chat about Boney Caroline. Boney Caroline. Oh dear. Um, Autumn said, "I totally believe in ghosts." Um, Liverpool, Liverpool, our cozy Liverpool home. Laura said, "Did everyone else spend the whole book thinking Val was a ghost?" Oh wow! I'm still not
I
convinced she
didn't, but that would
wasn't.
have been
That would
cool.
have been so cool. Oh, see, I didn't pick that up, but that would have been really good. Um,
See, I was very, very suspicious of him the
mm,
whole time,
mm,
and I kind of had a feeling where it was going, but I did not think he was a ghost.
no. Oh, that's interesting. That is. Kristen said ghosts are real. Yeah. Autumn said I totally thought he was a ghost. Oh, okay, interesting. Miss Boo Boo said, I think Val channels his inner Norman Bates. Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Oh, Kelly said, I thought Val was a ghost as well. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Wow,
My
interesting.
brain didn't go
No.
there.
Laura said I was confused how he could eat breakfast, but that didn't stop my theory. So a ghost that could eat. Oh
Yeah.
dear. Yeah, that's true. Matthew said we live in a big old farmhouse and ran it as a B&B for several years, and sometimes the guests would talk about having experiences at night, somebody walking around the bed they were in. Oh, I like that.
Ooh, spooky.
Narissa said, definitely think they're all more connected by the universe and energies than we think. Had a basically brand
Mm.
new bed break and wake me up. Next morning, sister called to say our mum passed, and it had.
Oh,
Narissa.
wow.
Oh, bless
I'm
you.
sorry.
Had not been far off when the bed broke. Oh, so the bed broke, and the timing was. Oh, I find things like that really spooky.
It's very spooky.
Yeah, Sharon said, I believe in residual energy, not ghosts of the dead. Lots of strange experiences haven't changed my view. Yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
Matthew said, I thought about the barn story when people were staying over, I thought they were crazy until we closed and moved into it permanently, and little things started happening and I noticed them.
Oh,
Oh.
spooky.
Kirsty said she was on the Valleys of Ghost train as well. Wow, like this, like went way over
Oh,
my. I didn't
me
even think that.
too. Me
Claire said, "Yeah,
too.
Val as a ghost definitely crossed my mind." Wow, I love that. um, somebody's put. I can't pronounce the name. But somebody's put. Never believed in ghosts till I moved into this 121-year-old house in Ohio. Sometimes you can see shadows moving in the hall mirror and knocking in the library. Oh,
I live in Ohio.
oh,
Ohio is
wow.
considered a very haunted place, so
Matthew said, I never thought Val was a ghost, just very socially challenged. Yeah.
that too.
So obviously our main girl was Angie. Um, Now I quite liked Angie. I thought she was like, and she
Yeah.
really, I liked her at the beginning, but I liked her even more at the end. So she grew on me, even though I already liked her. Well, what did you think?
Uh-huh.
What did you think of Angie?
I agree. I think a lot of the times in point horror books, the main characters are the quiet one who's more bookish
Mm,
and a little more reserved. I always feel like they're kind of in a corner watching things happen if they're in a group of friends. But this one, she's a bit more
mm,
athletic. She was a
mm.
bit more daring, she
Yeah,
said. She was the first one to swim out to the middle of the ocean and swim back. I'm like,
yeah.
I would
Oh
never
no,
do.
I've seen Jaws too many
Oh my
times.
God. Oh. The ocean terrifies me. I'm
Yeah.
so scared of the ocean. Um, so yeah, she's definitely a lot
Mm,
braver and more daring than the rest of the
yeah.
group, it seems.
Yeah, I agree.
Hmm.
Because obviously we get told, like as you mentioned, she's fun, friendly, good at sports. She likes scary movies, which I was like,
Yes.
oh, we could be
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was a big fan of English mysteries and gothic romances as well. So she's my type of person.
Yeah. And those are some interesting little details. I
Mm.
kind of wonder if Barbara Steiner maybe kind of wrote a little bit of
Yeah,
herself into it
I
because
wondered
it felt
that.
a little more
Yeah,
personal. Yeah.
it did definitely feel like even like at the end when I know we're skipping right to the end, but even at the end when she tells her brother Justin, "Oh, you can write about this one day," I thought, "Oh, I wonder. I'd love to know if this was like an
Hmm.
experience that maybe Barbara Steiner had."
Yeah.
Just made
Yeah.
me
Maybe
think.
she stayed in a haunted house during spring break once.
Yeah, can you imagine? Hope she booked ahead though. Hope she booked ahead.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. And I loved as well with Angie how she wasn't afraid to admit that she was in awe of her best friend Kerry for being so beautiful and brainy. I mean, it showed a bit of lack
Mm.
of confidence in herself, didn't it? That she,
Yeah,
she couldn't get it. But yeah, I felt
yeah,
a bit sorry for her in that respect.
yeah, yeah. And I like that too, to show a more vulnerable side of her,
Yeah,
which we all have, of
yeah,
course, the
definitely.
doubting ourselves or comparing ourselves to other
Yeah,
people.
she definitely felt really like a
Mm,
realistic, like you say, not like a normal point horror girl where they're a little bit way out there. She felt more grounded and down to earth to me.
yeah.
And yeah,
Hmm.
I quite liked her.
And there's a scene in the middle of the book once the guys have all disappeared where she has a moment where she breaks and falls on the bed and starts crying, which
Yeah,
seems like not the kind of reaction you would expect from her, but also it's like, yeah,
yeah,
everybody's going to have moments like that sometimes, and she's
yeah.
freaking out, understandably. So instead of her being like, let's get to the bottom of this,
Mm.
she takes a second to just freak out, and then she composes herself and
Yeah,
gets
and
back to
then she
business.
really, really does get back to business. Like by the end, she's like
Yes.
in full Angie
Hmm.
mode, like getting
Yeah.
things done, getting
Yeah.
things sorted, getting that rope out the
Yeah.
window.
Yes.
She was so awesome at the end. I was like, yeah, she
Yeah.
would save me. She would be like, I always say Narissa would save me in a horror film, and Angie would save me in a horror film, definitely.
Hmm.
Yeah, I even forgive her. She did come out with a really, really like dodgy joke at some point about Val saying, "Like one of your fish, I'm hopelessly hooked." And
Yes.
I was like, "Oh."
That's the bad.
Yeah, I did have a little
Cringe.
chuckle. Oh dear. But the only thing I was gonna see what you thought about was the bit of kind of insta love between her and Val.
Mm,
Um, so
yeah.
obviously she's floating about in that sea, and then obviously she meets him. But what did you think of that whole like insta love kind of
I
thing?
usually I hate
Mm,
insta love in
mm.
books, but I think it makes up for it when it shows that he's actually the villain.
Yeah.
uh, because they don't end up together, you know. So
Yeah.
for me, it felt more like, oh well, she's a teenager,
Mm,
she's on spring break, she's the third wheel. She kind of is there to
yeah.
make some kind of
Yeah.
connection. So here comes this cute guy swimming out in the middle of the ocean with her, and she's like, ooh. So
Holiday
she's a teenager, but
romance.
I think
Yeah.
yeah. But I think it makes up for it when you find out that he's actually the villain of the
Yeah.
story. If they had walked away into the sunset together, I wouldn't have
Yeah.
liked it.
And I think it does help as well with the way that when you find out he is the villain and they're up in that
Mm,
ballroom space, and the way that she's talking to him, she realizes quite early on how to speak to him to try and save the others. And I kind of like that. And I thought maybe because they had that connection, that's how she could, do that with him and
yeah,
distract him in a way, but also, find out the information as well as to what the hell's going on.
yeah. That kind of reminded me of the final girl in Friday the 13th
Oh,
Part Two, where she puts on the sweater and starts
yeah,
acting like his mother.
yeah,
It kind of reminded me the way that she handled that.
yeah,
It's very
yeah,
similar.
definitely.
Hmm.
But yeah, I quite liked that as well.
Yeah.
See what people think of Angie. So Billy said, I really liked Angie. She was very plucky and brave. Yeah, I agree with that.
Mhm.
Um, just to mention, Sharon said, I thought Val was a psycho but alive. So Sharon didn't think he was a ghost.
Me too. Me too. That's exactly what I felt.
Oh dear. Um, there was a moment though, I have to say, like I did suspect Val, but I think Barbara Stein does do a good job of just making you doubt yourself just a tiny little bit because as I was getting to the end and then it was all disappearing, I was like, wait, well, is it going to end up being the shopkeeper woman? Like, but
Oh
I'm
yeah.
easily confused. I
They,
am.
well, they do kind of plant that in your head too,
Yeah,
because they mentioned that maybe she is directing teenagers out to this house, and then the groundskeeper gets them
yeah,
in, and then they're able to like steal from them and
yeah.
stuff. It's like a plot, but which I think is a cool
Yeah.
idea. And I actually would have liked it if it had gone that
Yeah,
way.
definitely.
Um,
But she
mm,
does do a good job. I did doubt myself just for like a slight second. And I thought, oh, wait. um, Shaman said, I liked Angie, although she had a terrible taste in boys. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
I think she may have been just a little bit desperate, just a
Yeah.
little bit.
But the thing is, Justin, when she brings him back to the house that first time, Justin is very, very quick to say, stay over for the night. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
very, very quick. Um, Laura said, I like how Angie didn't let much bother her, like when she decides the noises upstairs are the old man hiding upstairs and singing when the next
Mm,
chapter starts by saying how well she slept. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah, I think at one point she says, doesn't she, about Mr. Minor, Elder Minor.
Mhm.
Oh, maybe it's him putting on a child's voice or something.
Which is
Yeah,
spooky.
that is spooky.
That would have been a very scary twist. And I got a little chill when she first looks outside and sees that his truck is still there at
Oh
night.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
like, ooh,
I mean,
spooky.
that's taking it a step too far, isn't it? Of doing
Mhm.
maintenance work, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
I think he was really just looking out for them because he suspected something was
oh, do
going
you
on.
think? I wasn't
I
sure on
think
that.
so.
Mm,
Yeah, I don't think he was actually doing maintenance. I think it was his excuse to make sure that
mm,
something
mm,
wasn't like
yeah,
going on.
but then he could have
Hmm.
warned them maybe a little bit more than he did. He just looked
Maybe he
creepy.
wanted that money still.
Yeah, he was like,
He still wanted that
I'll
money.
just keep an eye on them, but I'll still take their money.
Yeah,
Don't want to scare them off too
yeah,
much. Oh dear. Matthew said all the point horror girls have bad taste in boys. Yeah,
yeah. They
yeah.
do.
Ted,
It's a trope.
it really is. Teddy said, I liked Angie, thought she was good, a good main character, although falls in love very, very quickly, which is what we
Hmm.
discussed. Yeah, yeah, she really does.
Hmm.
Autumn said, I liked Angie too. I think she was just jealous and lonely and happy to have a boy around, so she didn't care and ignored the red flags. Yeah, that's so true.
Yep.
She did
So
not see them red
she,
flags.
yeah, I think she's a strong, a strong character, but does have her
Mm,
flaws, which makes her more
yeah,
realistic.
definitely. Heather said, the I liked that she schooled Val on gender stereotyping, Ari Kerry being a mechanic. Yeah, I love that. I thought that was really
Hmm.
cool,
Yes, I
especially
like that
for
too.
a 90s YA, because you don't normally get much of that going on in these like point horrors
Hmm.
and things like that. So I was like, oh,
Yeah.
definitely. Teddy said Angie showed her vulnerabilities, which made me invest more in her as a character. Oh, I'm loving all the Angie love. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Kirsty said, I liked action Angie, but not as keen on her tendency towards insta love. Yeah. I think she was just ignoring those red flags. April said she was
Yeah.
also so funny, especially when she at the end when she grabbed the chair from the skeleton and said she doesn't need this anymore.
Yeah. That got a laugh out of me too.
Oh, dear. You can just imagine that scene playing out. She's just like, like in a
Yeah.
movie or something. She thinks for a second, hesitates, and she's like, "Nah,
Yeah.
don't need it anymore."
Nah.
You just see the skeleton just like drop on the floor.
Yes.
Nerissa said, "Damn straight, I'd get everyone out alive." You would, Nerissa. You
Hmm.
would. Matthew said, doesn't the insta love always happen in the first third of these books? Yeah, sometimes we do get quite a lot.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and Kirsty mentions about the Val Kilmer thing. I mean, I was suspicious of Val when he didn't know that Val Kilmer was
Hmm.
Batman. I was like, what?
Yeah. He's been out of the
Yeah.
loop.
Definitely. I was like, so Kirsty said, love that we got a Val Kilmer reference because that's immediately who I pictured when I read his name. um,
Me too.
Caroline says she was feeling the odd one out too, so she was desperate for any boy. Yeah.
Hmm.
Marissa says she's allowed a dream fantasy of meeting a love at the beach. Yeah, holiday
I
romance.
agree.
Yeah, definitely. Scott says, my favourite Angie line was when the room was set on fire and she yells, Justin, wake up, we have a serious problem.
And then he's like, and wait, guys, did you realize that the room's on fire?
Oh dear, Justin. Verna Bug said, I like how all the characters generally had a friendship and didn't make fun of each other. Yeah, that's true. What did you think of like the friendship dynamic between them all? They were all pretty different but cool at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, I felt like it was very authentic. It felt real. Um, I didn't find myself thinking about
Mm,
it a lot. You know, a lot of times when you're reading a book like this, you're like, oh, it's too unrealistic, or oh, the author's trying too hard to make it realistic
yeah,
that it doesn't really feel. But this just felt
yeah,
real natural to me, and
yeah,
I didn't ever question that they wouldn't be friends. Like it felt like they've known each other a
yeah.
while, and the only thing is that she and her brother, I felt like, because I have a lot of
Mm.
siblings, I'm one of
Oh
seven.
wow, yeah.
I I didn't feel like they were siblings. It felt more like they were
Yeah,
friends.
I kept forgetting that
So
they were siblings, I have to admit.
yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
definitely.
Yeah, that was the only thing. But in terms of the
Yeah,
friendships, it felt real.
yeah, definitely. Because for me, like, I know how I am with my brother. Like, me and my
Mm.
brother are very jokey around with each other and
Yeah,
like taking the mick out of each other and stuff. And they
yeah,
didn't
me
really.
too.
I know that she did kind of take the mick out of him writing all the time in his notebook and things like that, and
Hmm.
that he was there to chaperone her. Not that she needed chaperoning,
Yeah,
but yeah, I just thought they were friends more than related.
yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
I feel like as a brother, me personally, if one of my sisters was falling for a guy really, really
Mm.
fast, who was just a stranger who's on the beach, I'd be like, "Can I talk to you real quick? Like, are you sure you want to
Red
go down this? He
flags.
seems a little, yeah, he seems a little
Seems a
weird."
little cuckoo.
Yeah, I feel like they would have been pulling each other into a corner more often and being
Mm,
like, "Hey, I need to talk to you for this."
yeah, definitely. But he was distracted,
Mhm.
Justin was, with Paula, right? He
He
was
was,
definitely,
yeah,
they were definitely getting it on in the marsh with doing the bird watching.
yes.
Oh,
They were bird
bird,
watching.
bird watching. Definitely. Oh dear. And there's that weird moment as well when they're on the beach, and I think it's Val who, I think Paula's walking away with Justin, and he kind of has that moment of like, oh, she looks very familiar. And I wonder whether that was to try and give us a bit of a red herring, but
Yeah,
it was a bit
yeah,
random. Like maybe he was trying
yeah.
to imply that Paula looked like his sister, Caroline,
His
maybe?
sister.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
so.
maybe.
In hindsight, yeah.
Yeah,
I kind of forgot
yeah.
about that
I
actually,
don't
that
know
scene.
why. To be honest, that's when I was starting to doubt myself. That I was like, "Well, is it going to be Val?" At that
Yeah.
moment, so I'm easily fooled. Fall for all these things. Miss Boo Boo said, yes, I liked how there was a tenderness in their sibling relationship with Justin. Oh, so perhaps there's something that we missed there. I just felt like there
Yeah,
was
could
more
be.
friendship. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
April said it was so funny that they called him by his first and last name the whole book. Yeah. I wonder if I wrote his last name. I'm taking it was Justin. So Justin Cole, right? Because obviously it was, no,
Mm.
it was Kerry Cole and
See,
Angie Hendricks. So it was Justin Hendricks.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Um, yeah, so April said it was so funny they called him by his first and last name the whole book. I feel like that's such a young adult kid thing to do. Yeah, that's true.
Uh-huh.
Or normally, like, if I'm in trouble for anything, I get called by my full name.
Yeah.
Definitely. Um, Autumn said, I wonder if he was looking at Kerry's Jeep because he could. Oh, maybe April means elder minor. Sorry, not
Uh-huh.
Justin. I've probably got a bit behind. So Autumn said, I wonder if he was looking at Kerry's Jeep because he could tell the car was tampered with. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
because there is that scene where he's taking a look at it.
Yeah.
He's got his head under
Maybe
the hood.
you just like Jeeps. Because
Maybe, I don't
it was
know.
meant to be like a super duper done up one, wasn't it? Like vintage.
Yeah.
We'd all have a little look. We'd just ask
And I love how
first.
she I love how she's like, I don't really like it when people are just poking around with my Jeep. Kicks them out.
Yeah, Kerry doesn't stand no crap.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, Heather said when a creepy maintenance guy was planting the flowers, I thought he was burying someone. Yeah, you never
Oh.
know. You never know.
The book did need a lot more murder. And
Yeah,
not dog murder. I wanted a there's a big cast of characters here. Someone could have gotten killed off.
yeah, I think so. Who would you have killed off out of the cast of characters? Who would you like to have
Uh,
killed off?
Probably what's his name? Carrie's boyfriend. I can't remember
Um,
his name.
Chad.
Ch-
Chad
Chad.
Grindle. I
Chad.
mean, with even with the surname. Oh, sorry if anyone's called Grindle, but even with a surname like that.
Yeah. I feel like Chad could have gone. That would have rendered Angie or Carrie a um little
Self-sufficient. Yeah,
traumatized.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, more
She would have been in
traumatized.
shock.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would have been in shock. So that would have taken her out too at the same
Oh,
time. And then
wow.
it would have just been Angie and her brother. And then that's it,
Yeah,
right? Who
that's
else?
it. And then the
And,
creepy maintenance guy.
and Carrie
Yeah. But I reckon they could have offed the
or the other one.
creepy maintenance guy as well at some point in some like really random
Yeah,
attack.
yeah. Because it'd be great to get down to it just being like Carrie and her brother or something having to
Yeah, yeah.
combine wits in order to get out. That way they don't have as much help. It's
Oh,
not as easy.
that would have been so good. But yeah, I was
Mhm.
expecting a little bit more, especially with the tagline being Sun, Sea, and Slaughter. I was expecting a bit of
Yes, I know. There was no slaughter.
no, no. Um, but yeah, let's just briefly mention Brandy. I won't go into what happens, but he didn't survive
Yeah,
the book. Um, what? I, why? Just like why?
I know. I
It's so
know. I mean,
tragic.
they could have very easily, he could have gone, Brandy could have gone looking for her
Yeah.
owner and then shown up at the end of the book after everything was done, being like, oh, I didn't find
Yeah,
him.
why didn't they do that? Oh, poor
Yeah.
Brandy. And like, I really did have
Yeah.
hope. I had absolute hope that, you know, it was just off sniffing somewhere. And then until you get that scene with the
Yeah.
vultures going round and you just know, and you come upon that realization exactly at the same point as the characters, which I thought was pretty clever. Like, you just know straight away and you're like, oh
Hmm.
no. Oh dear. But then, yeah, we
That,
didn't need the
that should have
detail.
been the vultures should have been circling for Chad, and then
Yes.
when they find Chad's body, they see Brandy
Oh,
just,
that would have been
right next to
better.
him.
Oh,
And then Brandy would be traumatized,
yeah.
and that would not be able to rely on Brandy.
Yeah.
You need to just
Oh,
whittle them down.
oh. Yeah,
That's
that
what
would have been
I would
that
have
would have
done
been
if I were.
so much better. And Chad definitely
Mhm.
needed going. And every time they mentioned his name, I just thought of I've been rewatching Screen Queens lately, and I can just imagine
Mhm.
Emma Roberts going, "Oh, Chad," the whole time. That's all I kept
He's such
picturing.
a he's such a
Yeah.
Chad bro.
Yeah,
He needed to
he
go.
did, he did. The girls didn't really need the boys, I don't think. Do you? And I
No.
think they
Mm-mm.
proved that at the end, like they just didn't need them, which I think was quite
No.
cool that the boys got taken out and put unconscious and tied up rather than the girls,
Yeah.
and then the girls
Yeah.
saving them essentially.
Yeah.
I liked
That
that.
was cool.
Yeah, I really
Yeah, me
like
too.
that. Autumn said that she's one of 10 siblings. Wow.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
Wow.
7 is enough for me.
um, Emma said effortless writing in this one and so much fun. Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. Matthew said at least nobody was making fun of the poor member of the group like in Prom Queen. Yeah, we read a Fear Street book, Prom
Mhm.
Queen, and yeah.
I love
there were
that.
there was a lot of there was a character who didn't have much money, was poor, and they were just constantly
Yeah,
like constant. And we were like,
yeah.
whoa, too much.
They're mean in Shady Side.
Yeah.
They can be really mean. Well, that was another thing is that in Fear Street books, the pets are always the first ones to
Yeah.
get killed off. So you always expect it in those,
Yeah.
but not really in Point Horror that
No,
I've
not
noticed.
really. There's one, there's a cat in Prom Date, I think it was, by Diane Ho.
Okay. Hmm.
But that's the only one I can think of. And I was really surprised that Barbara Steiner did it because in The Mummy, she's got this cat character
Uh-huh.
who's quite prominent to the story called Seti. And we just
Yeah.
loved Seti, and Seti was amazing in that book. She didn't kill him off or anything, so I was really surprised that she went there.
I wonder if Barbara Steiner is more of a cat person.
Oh yeah, maybe. She was like, "Oh, I've got to put a dog in this book. Ah, oh, revenge,
Yeah. Yes.
ultimate
The
revenge."
publisher the publisher made her do it.
Yeah.
Put a dog in there.
And the thing is, right, I don't I know I don't want to talk about this too much, but they buried the dog in the sand, and I was like, I almost Googled, like, if you buried a body in the sand, like, surely that wouldn't work. Like,
No, I don't think
how
so.
could that possibly ever be a thing?
And I also remember thinking, wouldn't you want to like wait until you found Chad so he could say goodbye?
Oh yeah. Oh no, they were over Chad by that point. They were hoping he was like dead, like us.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Uh,
Um, Matthew said Justin wanted to move Val right in into the Jameson house, didn't he? Yeah, definitely.
mhm.
Emma was laughing about teenagers going bird watching. I mean, it is a thing, but the scene was just really out of place. Like I thought the
Yeah.
birds, other than the vultures, I thought the birds were going to have some relevance to the story at some point because we kept hearing about
They don't.
these like
Yeah,
rare birds. I
they don't.
was
They
like,
never come into play.
it's a shame. Maybe they
I thought
maybe they were
I thought
gonna.
maybe yeah, maybe we'll have a piranha scene.
Oh
Birds.
yeah, peck 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 peck.
Pecking eyes.
Oh, can you imagine?
Yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah, you imagine them going for Elder Minor, and he's like just doing his little flower beds, and he's like, ah,
Yeah.
the birds. And then Justin's there with his
They break a
binoculars.
window.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
rare one.
They're up in the attic. They're up in
Yeah.
the attic. They break a window. The birds fly in. They start pecking at Val. He falls out the window.
Oh,
Birds are
see.
all over
Oh
him.
dear, she missed out there, didn't she?
Yeah.
Matthew said, did anybody else catch a sexist vibe of Justin when he told Angie he would have been worried and upset if she'd been out so far in the water on her own, but since she had a boy with her, yeah, Justin,
Yeah. Hmm.
Justin. I suppose that was a bit of sibling caring. We'll pass it off
I
as
guess.
maybe.
Yeah.
um, Oh, Laura said her comments aren't working. Um, and Kerry said, look, don't touch. I think that's about Val, I'm guessing. Autumn said. um, Vernal Bug said Elder Miner was smart and booking it early. He watched a lot of horror movies. Yeah. So he essentially, so he knew the family that lived there. I'm taking it because then they moved into the
Yeah.
town, and then he bought it
Hmm.
like at a really cheap rate to do
Hmm.
up. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So then that makes me question. So if Caroline was 18 when she died,
Hmm.
then how old was Val? So he meant to be older. So then I'm like,
He
oh,
was
that's a bit creepy.
10.
Oh, was he 10? Oh,
He
okay.
was 10 when she
Oh,
died. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was 10.
oh, okay. We'll forgive him. Yeah, April said the dog murder was awful. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and me and Heather noticed as well that at some point Chad got renamed Clad for a sentence. There was even like a
Really?
typo.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, so I think on page 143 he gets called Clad, and
I
I was
want to
like,
see.
even Barbara Steiner had enough of him at that point and was like, oh,
Yes, it is.
Clad.
Clad. I didn't notice it.
Yeah, I was like, wait, who's Clad? Oh, Chad. Yeah, she'd had enough at that point. She was like, oh, should have killed him off before now.
Yeah. I guess this is where the action starts picking up a little bit, so I
Yeah.
didn't notice as much. Usually I pick up on those.
Yeah. I was just like, because it took me out while I was reading it, it just took me out of the scene. I was like, wait, who's Clad?
Oh.
And then obviously I cottoned on. Sharon said, Sharon said, I'd have killed them all off, to be fair. Yeah.
Well, that's why you want a big cast of characters to kill
Yeah.
off everybody, and then you just have the one
Yeah.
final girl.
One final girl, that would be cool.
Mhm.
Matthew said, I take it this is on about the killing off of them. Chad. That's all he put, Chad.
Chad.
Yeah. Billy said, agree it needed a death or two, but not the poor doggo. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Emma said Paula or Chad. Oh, interesting. To kill off.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mm. Matthew said Chad was such a Chad. He really was.
Yeah.
He really was. Kelly said it needed more to happen, full stop. Oh, okay.
Mm.
Yeah, it did take a while to get it going, didn't it? Because obviously you had a lot of
It did.
scenes with them hearing like the talking, them finding the passageways and
Yeah.
things like that.
And I really liked that because it really built on the atmosphere of the
Mm,
book. I liked, it's a decrepit old seaside
yeah,
mansion. There's spooky voices and music, and the wind blowing through the doors off the balcony. It felt
yeah,
kind of gothic in a way.
yeah,
So I really liked the atmosphere,
yeah,
the building of that
yeah.
atmosphere.
And then, like with that, as we mentioned, I think it did build up the friendship group really well. So
Yeah,
you
I
could
think so
really
too.
tell that they were friends, but it did take a long time to get to the action. Like when they found the passageway, like why didn't they explore more? Like I would be like, oh, let's see what else we can find.
Oh, me too. I've always wanted to find a secret
Oh, me
passageway.
too. Oh, it'd be so
I would have been
cool.
all up in
Yeah.
that. I would have been Nancy Drew.
I would like to find them, but I'd let someone go up first, and then I'd just follow behind because I'm a bit of a wimp. But yeah, I wish they'd just explored that a little bit more. Um, and
Hmm.
then obviously when they find the door behind the wallpaper as well, and they rip the wallpaper
Yeah.
off, it took a long time for them to find that or figure that out. Considering how big the house was, like surely I
Yeah.
would be intrigued. Like, oh, why haven't I got
Where's
access to
the
these?
rest of this
Yeah,
house? Yeah.
yeah. So I would have liked a little bit more of like the secret passageways, and
Mm.
because there's got to have been
Mm.
more in that house. Definitely,
Yeah.
got to have been. Vernal Bug said, "Did you find it weird that he left his dog under the bed because he loved Brandy so much. Oh, perhaps that Brandy just liked to sleep
Hmm.
under the
Yeah.
bed. um, Laura's put, talking of slaughter, I love how Myra was the shopkeeper woman, right? I think,
Hmm.
waited till they'd been staying there for days and then tells them that Eldon had killed a man with his bare hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't tell him that at the start. I reckon she was
Uh,
getting commission.
uh, yeah, I think so. They really wanted to make that
Yeah,
money.
definitely. They were in it together. Because she just randomly appears at the end again as well, doesn't she?
Yeah,
She's like there at the end. I reckon her and Eldon were having a bit of a thing personally,
you
but
think so?
I reckon,
Yeah,
yeah.
that does make sense.
um, April said that is such a better way to have handled it. I think I got a bit behind. Scott said could have just locked Brandy in the shed. Yeah, didn't have to kill him off.
Yeah.
Karen said, anytime a pet appears in Point Horror, I'm always bringing out the Heidi cushion as they have bad stats for survival. Yeah, they do. Teddy said, the girls saved the day. Hashtag girl power.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Larissa said, Stein is the worst for offing pets. Yeah. That's why I was so surprised with Barbara Steiner doing it.
Yeah, I do need to read more of her books. I've got her point horror ones, but then I also have some of these others that she's written, which I just so happen to have like right next to me, like
Oh.
these others.
Oh, I've just brought that
She wrote like
Night
all of
Cries. I've just brought that
these.
one. Yeah, so
Yeah, she
cool.
wrote a
And those
whole
covers are
whole bunch
amazing.
of them. She wrote these. It's a trilogy of
Oh
books.
wow, I didn't know about
So
those ones.
yeah,
Mm.
she's written more for Avon than she has Point
Oh wow.
at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I just brought that Night Cries because Miss Boo Boo, who's
It
in the
looks
chat, said it's really, really good. Yeah, and the cover is just amazing. So I'm
so
going to read that
good.
one soon.
I love this one
Oh, look at
especially.
the cover is just amazing.
I
That cover
know.
art, oh,
It's so
just love it.
cool.
Oh, definitely. But after reading the three that we have for Under the Point Horror banner, I'm definitely gonna check out more of her books.
Yes, absolutely.
April said, yes, Shelley, I had the same thought, and Chad wasn't like, oh, let me go and see my dog before we leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Verna Bug said Chad didn't ask for Brandy in the. Yeah, Chad didn't ask for Brandy in the end. He didn't even ask where the dog was.
I don't like
No,
Chad.
definitely. Yeah,
He didn't deserve
no.
Brandy.
Yeah, Autumn's just said, oh my God, Chad didn't ask for Brandy. So true. Larissa said, sadly, no Chekhov's birds. Sharon said, Cameron channeling his tippy oh God, I can't speak.
Yeah, it's Tippy
Yeah, that's
Hedren.
it.
I'm in the phone booth.
Emma said we needed some murder birds. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It would have been so cool. There was just got to
Yeah.
be a reason for that weird scene. Heather said I caught it about the clad name because I caught it because I thought
Hmm.
she called him a clod. What's a clod? I don't know what that is. Is that am
I
I
don't
saying
know.
a naughty
It sounds
word?
mean.
Tell me, Heather, what have you made me
I don't know.
say? Scott said I would have loved to explore every inch of the house instead of just playing Monopoly. Oh yeah, and Pictionary.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Pictionary
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yep.
Um,
I mean, on the US cover, you see how
yeah,
big this
it's
house is. Look at
huge.
that.
It's huge. Um, Heather said when they ripped the wallpaper off, I was really excited, and they didn't flush it out further. Yeah, they just found the
Yeah.
drawer, and that's it. Yeah, Miss Booby said love Night Cries. Yeah, I brought it on Miss Booby's recommendation, so I'm going to be reading that. Oh, Autumn's just got Night Cries as well. Yay. Werner Bug said, I loved when Angie said Chad and Justin were going to be useless in helping to get out. Yes. And they were. They were.
Yeah, all the guys were useless. Absolutely.
Karen said the face on the cover of the books that you just held up is creepy AF.
Yeah,
Scott says 90s cover art is unmatched. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
I totally agree.
I'm starting to feel terrible since my name is Chad. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm
We love
sorry.
Chads. We heart Chads. Uh,
Just not this
just
Chad.
Chad Brindle.
Yeah.
Oh, so a clod is like a lump of dirt. Phew. I was like, what?
You're so
I am
relieved.
very relieved. Oh dear. Yeah, so like a lump of dirt, a clod of dirt. Oh, see, these chats are very educational. We learn about like special birds
All
and
kinds of
clods.
clods of dirt.
Vernal Bug said, "Can we say the UK cover is so much better than the US?" Oh, what
It
do you
is
think?
absolutely yes. Look at
Yeah,
that. Boring, amazing.
intriguing.
Yes.
Oh, and it's
It,
really weird when they were describing the body as well. I kept like looking at this cover, like to see like
me too.
if it was like
Yeah.
accurate, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's pretty accurate.
It pretty is. And I feel like this matches the tone of the book more because it does
Yeah,
feel more gothic and spooky, whereas this, I don't
more
know,
spring
it just feels like a
breaky.
teen
Yeah,
romance. Yeah. Like, oh, it's a teen romance, but then you
yeah.
got a spooky house.
The only thing that did make me laugh when they were describing this body in the book. So before we knew it was like a dead body, Angie thinks it's Val in a big blonde wig.
Oh,
And
yes.
I was like looking, I was like, that isn't much of a wig.
No, there's not much hair there. It's fallen out over the
Like,
years.
how did she think it was Val? Oh dear. Yeah,
I get
definitely.
the impression Val is a pretty big guy. I was, picturing Val Kilmer again. It's not Val Kilmer.
Oh, definitely. Um, Claire said, I bet there was so much more secrets in that house to uncover. Yeah, can you
Mhm.
imagine?
Mhm.
Chad, as in Chad, who's in the chat, said it's all good.
Okay, good.
But Karen said, is your name also Clad? Laura said, I love how Angie's instinct tells her Val is dangerous after he's kidnapped, knocked out, and tied up two of her friends and killed a dog. Great instincts. Yeah,
Yeah.
very true. Karen said the UK cover reminds me of horror reading of Mrs. Havisham from Great Expectations. Yeah. Well, Miss
It
Havisham.
reminds
Yeah.
me of a Psycho
Oh,
mother in the basement in the wine
yeah.
cellar.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, Billy said I loved when Angie thought Val was doing a Norman Bates on everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Boo said the bunting in the UK cover looks like looks like a one, and I keep thinking it has a sequel. Oh yeah, it does look like that. Looks like a number one. Yeah, Spring Break
Oh yeah.
one.
Um,
And Bernabug said Elder Miner isn't going to get his investment back. Yeah. So obviously at the end, like obviously it's on fire, isn't it? And it does
yeah.
reference that it's just going to burn down to the ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
But oh well, he got the rental money, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So we're all good.
He'll have to find a new project. Fix up some Jeeps. I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Yeah, Jeep time. Claim on the
Yep.
insurance. Oh dear. So talking about the ending, then did you like the whole ending of the book? Was it satisfying to read? Like, were you happy with the backstory of Val and things like
Yeah.
that? Did you enjoy that?
Yeah. Yeah. It was just enough point horror cheesiness with the dead
Yeah.
sister, and that all felt like what you expect and kind of want from a point horror book.
Mm,
Um, but with a little bit better writing, and I kind of like that at the end, it kind of leaves it open about
Mm.
where she says, maybe the evening wouldn't. Happy birthday, Caroline, she whispered. Your brother is finally coming to help you celebrate. I thought that was kind of sad,
Yeah,
but kind of spooky at the
but
same
then
time.
also as
So I
well,
like,
like closure as well
yeah,
for Val in a
yeah,
kind of way. Like she still had that empathy for him at the end.
yeah. Because he was only 10 years old
Yeah,
and witnessed his sister dying,
yeah,
so it's kind of a tragic
yeah,
character.
definitely. And I just saw Autumn's put, I was confused about Val finding Caroline's body. So I was a little confused on that because obviously he waited. Is that right?
Yeah,
For her to wash up to
I
shore?
yeah, he eventually found it. I thought that maybe he had murdered some girl who was
Oh,
on spring break and
oh,
then pretended it was
yeah.
his sister, which I guess is possible still, but they don't really say that.
Yeah.
So that's just more my brain wanting that to
I think
actually happen.
I
It's kind of
it,
scary.
something like that did cross my brain, but I was more like, oh, did he kill Caroline? Like, did he somehow
Hmm.
actually kill her so he knew where the body was? Because it's a bit random that the body
Yeah,
would wash up on that shore.
I agree.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was a bit like,
Something's
oh,
fishy.
yeah. I'll just go with it because I like Barbara Steiner, but yeah, a little bit loose on the old details
Yeah,
there.
little convenient.
Yeah, because like Autumn says, if his family left right after it happened, he came back after he broke out and found her body years later, maybe. But he must have,
Mm,
yeah, I'm not sure on that. Because obviously he was living
I
in the
don't know.
basement after he broke out of the institute. Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, little plot hole. We do normally sometimes find a little plot hole that we can't explain, but we just go
Yeah.
with it.
Just,
We just,
just go
yeah.
with the flow.
Matthew said, did they just let Val go rowing off into the sea and not bring him back? Oh,
I think
yeah.
so. Yeah.
Didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yep.
Just bye.
Yeah. He's gonna go die now. Bye.
And I love how Larissa always does a teen life lesson, a drawing, which I shared this morning on my feed, and there's the
Uh-huh.
boat with the little balloon coming out of it. Chef's kiss. Just brilliant. Teddy said, love the ending. Kirsty said, my favourite was Kerry's, but where will we RSVP? You know, when they get the invitations.
I guess.
Oh, there's so many comedy moments in this book. Um, Claire said, hadn't he broken out quite recently, talking about Val, so maybe he found the body before he was locked up. Yeah, he must have done.
Seems
And
weird.
then, if Mr. Eldon Minor, or whatever his name was
Yeah.
like, how, if he was renovating the house and the body was in there the whole time, like, how did he not know there was a whole ballroom section? Now my brain's
Yeah,
going.
I know.
And like,
There there are
surely,
some things she didn't
surely
think out.
as well, like there'd be, if you put the body in there after it washed up to shore, like it would smell. So surely there'd be a smell in
Yeah.
the house as well. I'm thinking too much about this, aren't I? Yeah. Autumn's got my brain going now, thinking about it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Autumn said, yeah, he broke out recently. I was confused when he was saying his parents said she couldn't be found, but he knew it was possible. Yeah.
Someone would have found
Yeah,
her by now if she had washed up.
definitely.
Yeah.
Heather said, oh, that would have been good. Cameron's theory on Caroline. Yeah,
Yeah, he killed somebody.
yeah,
That would
that
have
would have
been
been good.
spooky.
And Emma said, like, what I thought he killed her. Yeah, so I was convinced. I thought, oh, I wonder if he did kill
Hmm.
his sister. Autumn said, what a coincidence, he found her years later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Matthew said they all just stood there and watched him row away. They were like, bye,
Yeah, they did.
bye,
I
Val.
think Angie goes. Angie goes to stop him, I think, and then her brother stops her, right? Maybe
Yeah.
I'm remembering that
Because
wrong.
she could have like totally, because we kept hearing what a good swimmer she was and that she could swim really well and really fast. So she probably could have caught up to him. It was like like a
Hmm.
holy, not not a holy as in blessed raft, but like a holy raft. So he wouldn't have
Yeah,
got that far.
yeah.
Kelly said, I thought it was odd they were just going to drive home. No police or anything. Yeah. Didn't call no police.
Yeah, what's up with that? I didn't
The
even
whole
think about that.
place is on fire. No fire brigade. Oh, the poor bird sanctuary at the back, the marshes. Then that would have been up in
Oh no.
flames. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Oh
no.
dear. Bug said, I was surprised to see teenagers cook a lot of homemade food and not get takeout. Yeah, that was pretty
Yeah,
cool actually. It made me hungry. Had to have snacks while
it
I was
did.
eating.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Snacks while I was reading, not snacks while I was eating. Oh dear. Um,
Yeah, the whole book made me very
yeah,
hungry,
definitely.
and it made me want spring break.
Yeah, I was like, I need a holiday.
Yeah, I want to go on
Yeah,
vacation.
sounds good. Not to the Jameson house though. We don't want that.
No.
Karen said this is not related to the book, but I need to know how you do those crazy cool neon rainbow lights in your home library. As every time I see them, I'm all, how is this Goosebumpian magic performed?
Me? You kind of have them
Yeah.
too in your place.
So I've just
So,
got like LED strip lights that I can change different colours. I can have multicolours, and I've got a couple of little spotlights at the bottom as well, but you can't
uh,
see them. But
yeah,
yeah, how about you?
I've got I've got smart lights. They're like the you can
Oh
change the
yeah.
color and stuff, but they're like I have I could
Oh
probably show you guys
yeah, that'd
actually.
be
Let's see.
cool. Oh yeah,
These
yeah.
lights, so they're all over my library, and then stay. And then I've got these floodlights that are
Oh
from Walmart.
yeah.
I put them up when I'm filming videos. Otherwise, I don't have
Oh,
them.
it gives
This one's
such
a
a
little
good effect
flickery.
though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And then you can
Yeah,
move them around. Like if I can film anywhere in my library and just kind of move them
yeah,
behind me, and it adds
yeah.
a pop of color.
Definitely. And I've got there's a
Mm.
lampshade above me, but I haven't got it on tonight because I put a colour changing light bulb in there, but I tried it earlier
Uh-huh.
and I looked like some monster. It was like, because it's right above my head, so it was like shining right down on me. It was like, ooh.
Yeah, these spotlights I can't put on my face because they're like
Yeah,
floodlights. So they're real bright. They'll blind you,
yeah,
and they'll totally wash
yeah,
out my face. So they're just for the background.
yeah.
These ones in the ceiling are a little milder.
Yeah, I've tried the one, and this my little ring light thing as well. I think it does change colour. Oh,
There,
oh, yeah.
there you go. Mine doesn't do that. That's just spooky.
Oh no, I've got to get it back now. Hang on, I've got to go through all the colours. Oh, that'll
There you
do.
go. That looks
That
good.
sounds like a green. Who knew? Oh dear. So yeah, yeah, I do love like putting different colours on and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Shaman said that you don't get mummification in water. Ah, yeah, because you just bloat. Surely.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh dear, that makes it even more. That makes me think your theory, Cameron, is more correct. That he definitely killed someone.
I feel like, I mean, she doesn't say that that's so, but the way she glosses over it
Yeah,
makes it seem like
yeah,
something's happened
yeah,
there.
yeah,
Because if she were to be in the water all this time, bloat, and then what he drags her to the house, like she would just like
yeah,
explode. We've all seen that episode of Walking
yeah.
Dead with the well zombie.
Oh, definitely. Oh dear.
Oh,
Oh. And also as well, like Val was a very busy villain. Like he had some strength because he got them two up in the attic, Chad and Justin, and no one saw him do it for one.
yeah,
And yeah, he must have been lumping them up the stairs. He must have had some muscle. So no wonder Angie
yeah,
like fell for him. Definitely.
weird.
um, Heather said I ignored the plot hole at the end, just like teenagers getting a hotel room. When I was 18, most hotels said they needed a 21 for a check-in. Yeah.
Mm,
Oh, Kelly said they did say it smelled like damp in the house. So yeah, maybe.
yeah, yeah.
Speed Rachel said, "Do you remember the date for the party? It was the 22nd of March." And you said we would read it in March. I didn't know that,
Yes,
and I read it
I
on
was
this
reading
day.
this and I came to that part and I'm like, oh my gosh, is that
Yeah.
today? And I looked at the calendar and it was March 20th. I was like, oh, it was so close.
Oh dear. Burner Bug said, I guess we can't rely. Val as a very reliable narrator. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah,
Yeah.
lied.
Hi Jen. Jen said mummification is the act of drying out a corpse. Ah, okay. I like how I learn a lot during these chats. I really do.
Yeah.
And Matthew said yes about Val. How did he manage to get it all done and still find time to stare out at the sea mysteriously for hours? Multitasking goals. But I always find this in whenever I read a Richie Tankersley Cusick book, I always find this
Mm,
like her villains are very busy, and like I get to the end and I'm like, how did they get from A to B back to
yeah.
A to like very quickly? Superpowers.
Yes.
But I quite like a busy villain because it gives me more entertainment.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think so too.
Oh, but Cameron, thank you so much for chatting about this book. I'm so
Yes.
glad.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you
so
for
glad
having
that
me.
you had fun with it, albeit we thought of a couple of little plot holes along the way.
Yeah, no, I still loved it.
Yeah,
I still had a really good time with it. Reminds me why I love point horror so much.
yeah,
There's a lot of
yeah,
variety.
definitely. Oh, I just saw Billy
Hmm.
put also, how come Val ate? That's why I also thought, do you mean like he ate? No, that's not how you do it. Also, how come Val ate? That's why I also thought he was a ghost too,
Mm,
considering the group ate non-stop. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
Richie Tankersley. It was a her. Yeah, Jen just asked about Richie. Yeah. Oh, but no, I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. I had
I
fun with it. I
did.
have to admit, like as soon as I just got past, and I just enjoyed all the friendship group, and I just thought that was very
Mm,
realistic. And then, yeah, I just loved it when it escalated, and then it just really went off the rails.
yes. It gets crazy.
Oh, Billy said he meant that Val never ate. Yeah,
Yeah. He
yeah,
was always making excuses to not eat.
yeah, definitely. Like, how was he never hungry? That's probably why people thought he was a ghost, right? Hmm.
He's just eating a lot of fish.
Yeah. Yeah, it's when he said, oh, sorry, I've just thought of something really quick, but when he said he caught a load of fish and he ate them all, and then he was going back fishing the next day to get more, and I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, that's commitment.
Yes. He's getting all those omega-3
Yeah.
fatty acids.
I knew there was something fishy about him. Oh, I'm here all week. Oh, oh dear. Yes, on that note. But thanks to everyone in the chat as well. Oh, you've been great with like
Yay.
comments, and I love the fact that everyone thought Val was a ghost. Like it didn't even cross my mind at all. So,
Yeah,
oh,
me too.
oh yeah, I'm getting a little drum roll for my joke. I'm so proud. So proud. Oh, well, come back again soon, Cameron. It's always such like an
Yeah,
absolute
anytime.
pleasure to
Anytime.
talk to you. And do check
Yes,
out
you
Cameron's
too.
books and obviously his fab YouTube channel. Um, yeah, you've been putting.
Autumn Crow is out in a illustrated edition
Oh
now, for those
yeah.
who don't know. This came out pretty
Oh
recently.
wow! Look at that. That's so awesome. Who did the illustrations, Cameron?
My sister.
Oh wow!
It's an indie effort. So yeah, everything I paid her. She's an artist and a tattoo artist, so I just
Wow.
paid her to to do it
That's
for me.
so
So there you
amazing.
go.
Oh, I love that. That's really sweet. I'm gonna have to get that copy as well now.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah, thanks for joining us, Autumn, for our first book club as
Yay.
well.
Yeah. Thanks,
Oh,
Autumn.
well, thanks, guys, and thank you, Cameron, and we'll
Thank
see
you.
you again soon.
See ya.
Watch out for those
Bye.
dodgy people.
Yeah.
See you
Those
later.
fishy
Them
people.
fishy people. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.